Hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? Good to see you guys. We haven't done this in, like, I think 2 weeks, probably. So good to see everybody. How's it going in the chat to Hunter? We got Josh and Zenith. How's it going, folks? And yeah, super exciting weekend we had, right? It's pretty exciting. We got a new European champion, Jess, with not such a new deck, taking it all the way home, just like it last year, which is crazy. It's crazy to think that this deck has won Euros 2 years in a row. It's absolutely nuts, in my opinion. What do you guys think about Rica taking it all home? How's it going, Diego? Trying eyes, Skelly. Good to see you guys. It was actually a wild weekend. It was the matches were so good. I was on vacation throughout the weekend. It was super fun and relaxing. And yeah, I watched a lot of matches. Also watched the finals. It was really crazy. Like going into time like that. You don't want to go into time with Rica. So crazy, absolutely nuts. So we got a lot of things to do today, a lot of things that I want to cover today, because we haven't seen each other in a while. Also, like, I prepared a lot of videos for the time I was gone, but it was more like replay videos because I had to prepare everything in advance, and There wasn't a lot of new content to cover. So now we're gonna talk about some of the new things today. We just finished EUWCQ and we're going into North American WCQ, which is gonna be this weekend. Anybody from the US going this weekend? Now people will start reading the Rica cards. Well, that's the point. They probably still won't. Because this deck won exactly 1 year ago, and people still, including myself, I mean, I kind of know what the deck does, right? It's not such a complicated deck to play against, but still, it's like, you know, it's not the usual cards you see every day. Rica is annoying as hell. It's fine. It's not. Thing is, like, not to dish on Jess, she's a very, very good and skilled player, and she made the right call to come into the tournament with this deck and win it all, which is beautiful to see. Very deserved. I don't think the deck is like the best deck though. I don't think anybody's delusional that Rica is now it's like better than Kostra. It's not the case at the moment. It was a good call for the EUWCQ. Doesn't make it the best deck, and we're going to be talking about this in today's stream when we do the tier list for the upcoming weekend, because we have a lot of things changing, but we had a huge tournament, and now we're going to have the second biggest tournament, or like as big of a tournament this weekend. So we're going to see how two different continents play out with the same decks, and it's not necessarily going to go the same way, right? Sad to see the cash player misplay. Yeah, I agree. He had game, but what can you do? Sometimes you can misplay and get away with it. Sometimes you just misplay and it costs you the game and the championship as well. But it was Tom? No, I don't remember his name. He played it well though. I mean, it was the finals. It was very stressful. It was going to time. It's easy to sit home and watch these things, but when you're there, I bet it's really, really like stressful, very stressful. How's it going, Courage Hound? Saludos, Francisco. I think we need Dynamorphia support. This deck is kind of dead. It kind of got Dynamorphia support now with the Zark stuff, right? Rica is a skill-based deck for sure. I would agree to some extent. Basically what the deck does is there's a 1-card combo. And if you can't make it into the 1-card combo, then you need to pilot your deck to get back to the 1-card combo. The recovery is like really, really weak. Like, you know, you get ashed on Branded Fusion, you can still play in a different route that could be very strong too, depending on what you have. But with Rica, it's not exactly that. You need to go back and find your pieces to make it back into the 1-card combo so you can do the 1-card combo, because all you need is one. If you don't normal summon, you end on a different board. You can get like Cactus, you can get the Naturia. What's the name of that card? I think it's a Naturia card that allows you to play your opponent to play only one spell per turn, which is crazy. Hope you're having a good morning. I am. It's 6 p.m. here, but I had a good morning, and now I'm having a good afternoon as well. So, a few things I want to talk about and talk about what we're going to do today. So we got some awesome news from Sleeve Chief. I'm going to plug some future products. Whether you're from Europe, in which case you already have great shipping on Sleeve Chief products, but also from the US, there's going to be new shipping prices for the US and some of the most insane sleeves and products you've ever seen. So I'm going to show you guys that. Then we're going to do some EUWCQ recap. We're going to look at the spreadsheet and look at the decks, some of the deck profiles, mainly branded, and kind of like go over everything. And then we're going to do the tier list for this weekend's tournament, which is going to be the NAWCQ, which is going to be super interesting to see. I might stream some of it, but because it's in the US, it's going to be a huge time difference. So we'll see if I stream everything or maybe some of it. We'll see. And then we're going to talk about some branded approaches ahead of this weekend. Like, we're going to see some deck lists that are like kind of new, and then we're going to talk about like what you can actually do with branded in this upcoming weekend if you haven't decided, or like in the near future if you want to build branded, because now I think 60 cards is kind of like popping back up. It's really good. People kind of swear by it. I've only been playing 60 cards for like a month now. It's like incredibly fun. So I really, really love it. I really like playing it. Like everything, like it has like full gas. It's so much fun. So before we get to the EUWCQ recap, let's get to 30 likes on the stream. So like the stream if you haven't still. And we're going to jump right into the spreadsheet and going to see some of the results. And then we're going to do the tier list after that. Some very interesting stuff. Hello, Arbari. Why is 60 cards the new norm? I don't think it's a new norm, but it's extremely viable. So people like it, and it's a very fun deck to play, and you really kind of don't need to play Puppet, and it's just really, really fun. Really, really fun. So let's get to 30 likes. 30 likes on the stream. Leave a thumbs up so we can get going. Of course, if you guys are, if any of you are new to the channel, welcome. Consider subscribing. We're pretty close to 12K already, which is really, really fun and nice and cool. So it's going to be really awesome to get there. And also, if you guys want early access to all of my deck profiles every single week, then you can join as a member, support the channel, get some awesome badges and emotes, and get access to the Discord server, to the exclusive Discord channel, in which you'll get, every week you're going to get a new deck list. So, before we get going, I did want to show you guys this Sleeve Chief release schedule for July, because it's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. So in just a few days, we have the new pot collection. It's going to be like a new super, super clean cloth playmat with like pot card illustrations. It's really, really cool, and some dice restocks. But then at the end of the month, we have a summer sale with some of the most insane sleeves you'll ever see. And again, if you're in the US, there's going to be new prices for the US. It's going to be less than $10. Don't like quote me on the exact price. But now, if you want to buy from Sleeve Chief from the USA, you need to pay like $40 or like $30 to get it shipped. And there's a lot of customers from the US, and I know a lot of people here on the channel are from the US and want to buy Sleeve Chief products. So you're going to have new branded sleeves with Cartesia, Ecclesia, and Lulu. You're also going to get new striker sleeves, and then also Ajama sleeves, which are actually hilarious and super, super cool. I'm probably going to get those as well, and I'll show you when I get them. Then there's going to be a huge restock. There's going to be 15% off with my code. So keep your wits about you, and save up, because you're going to get everything for 15% off, which is crazy. And what else? The new pack collection is dropping. There's a really cool deck box they did with pack. And then Sleeve Chief goes USA, which again, if any of you are from the USA, they're going to have a new shipping facility there, which is going to lower the prices significantly. And I think it's going to be at the beginning of next month. We're going to have a huge giveaway on the channel with Sleeve Chief. They're going to give away some gifts to you guys. So stick around for that, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Get us 12 more likes, and we get going. Hopefully you're excited. And of course, all the affiliate links for all my sponsors are always in the description. Do you prefer it over the last version? Yes, I do. I currently really enjoy playing 60. The hands that this deck can do with 60 cards is just incredible. People are always like, I win, and then they go like, yeah, he draws everything in 60 cards. Because you play like everything at 3, because everything is at 3. It's hard to justify because of how expensive it is while living in the US. Yeah, well now, you're gonna have to pay like $7 for US shipping, which is crazy. It's basically free. So now you're not gonna have to worry. I'm sure a lot of people wanted to support me by buying or wanted some products but couldn't afford them because $30 for shipping is expensive. But now it's gonna be cheap. Do you miss the hand traps? No, I don't. The deck can really go second really well. And you know, there's side decking as well. It's hard when you play 60 because you don't see a lot of side. So either the side has to be like a lot of copies of everything, like put everything into the side. That should be the strategy. Or you just play searchable stuff, which is also like either bestials or like spells and traps. You can search with Aluber, Photon, or Overlord's products too. I don't think so specifically, but they're gonna have a restock. So if there's anything already on, you're gonna have a chance to see that. So we do have the spreadsheet here. I'm gonna link it into the chat just in case you guys want to check it out yourself. This is where Lampy, who's also a content creator, you can see the socials right here. Go follow him. He's the one of the European casters, so he's a very, very awesome guy. He does this, so it's really, really good. And we're gonna take a look at some deck lists. So you can see the brand was like 7.8, almost 8% representation in Top Cut, which was basically as much as Rica, right? And almost as exactly like Flonderies, which is also kind of crazy to think about the fact that Flonderies had bigger representation than Branded. Day one, though, Branded was the 5th, 6th most represented deck alongside Labyrinth in the room. So Labyrinth had a very poor conversion rate, while Branded actually had, 7% in the room and then 7% in Top Cut. That's better than most tournaments that Branded participants in. Dragons were a surprise. We're going to go over that as well in the tier list later. It was a crazy, crazy tournament. That's exactly what I'm worried about. The siding. Top forward, my nationals with Branded last year. Let's go. And it was full gas, pre-bestials, always worried me to run so many cards. Well, the strategy, specifically Nicholas, who kind of brought the deck back recently when he, did he top or win the French Nationals? He didn't win it, but he topped it, I think, with the 60 cards, like top 4 or 8. He said, there's an interview with him on the channel. He's a really, really cool guy. He said that basically, like the side deck, if you go second, you basically put everything in. That's the whole strategy, because you're not going to see your side deck in 60. So you want to see a lot of it. So that's a consideration, but the deck is just so incredibly strong. Let's Oh, my hair is crazy right now. Woo. Let's look at some deck lists. Top 8, we got Eldon Siddiqui. Really, really cool. Check out his deck list.
So today we are here with
Eldin Siddiqui.
And what did you do?
I made top 8 at the European Championship.
What did you play?
All right, we're going to take a look at the Siddiqui's build here. There we go. All right. We got Team Jim. Look at this beautiful trophy, right?
So today we are here with
Eldin Siddiqui.
And what did you do?
I made top 8 at the European Championship.
What did you play?
Yeah, Cash is still super strong.
Show us the goo.
Yes, so...
Oh, you're going to rally. Good luck, man. Now, don't be nervous. It's going to go super well. We're going to talk a lot about Branded today.
Well,
You're gonna have a lot of fun.
The stream
Oh, no problem, Hellman.
Okay, it's fine.
When is the next episode of Branded Academy? Soon-ish. Right.
It's the soul of the deck.
So we have
You need
three
It's
Albas,
really
which
good
is
to
correct.
draw it, going second. It's a really good card. Then another starter. It's basically
Eluber.
a branded fusion, but on legs.
Branded Fusion on legs.
Then 2 Cartesia, 1 Queen. I didn't want to play 3 Queen, 3 Cartesia because it's a bit bricky. And also not 2 Queen because otherwise I have too many normal summons.
That's always what I've been saying about Quem, that even in the 60 card build, you play 2. Because it's just too much normal summons. You can summon Quem off of opening, Titanic Lad, Lulu, blah, blah, blah. But still, it could be bricky. Like, sometimes you open Quem, Aluber, and Albaz in your hand, and you kind of want to die. 2 Cartesia is fine. I think it's the correct for not 60. Like, in 60, you play 3. But playing 2 here makes sense.
I played 2 Imp.
Edge Imp Chain
It's
Engine.
really amazing if you don't
It's
get
so
shifter.
good.
Otherwise, if you have Patchwork, it's
If
fine.
you don't get Shifter.
But then you have opening with this, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Then the 2 other Despia monster.
Yeah,
nothing to
Adlib.
say much about, just this guy.
Right now, I think Adlib is really good. Like, usually when I go for lines, just the normal line, I will send Ad libitum with Granguignol to the graveyard. That will be my send. Like, in a perfect opener, this is what I send to the graveyard. And that's the best setup you can actually ask for today.
Sometimes you like it, sometimes you hate it.
Yeah,
You don't
Sometimes you ate it.
You never know.
know.
Yeah, the
free,
one-offs. Kit.
search for loss,
Kit is questionable.
basically.
But I guess it's
Because
an
you
okay
want
starter, I
to
suppose.
get your branded fusion, then you don't have Aluber or-
Quem doesn't do anything by herself, but she
Which is
can
really nice
recover
because you can also use
your
the effect on the
game
shield, because
state
I forgot sometimes, and you can revive by
if you
Queen
get
or
ashed.
Sanctifier.
in certain
And
scenarios,
this is
not
just for
all
doing
the
a
time.
recursion with a counter trap.
I don't
When
know
you
why
don't
Andrews
vanish,
said
you
Adlib is
get it
trash.
back.
It's not
This
like the
card
best
gets
card because it
red,
doesn't do
and
anything
again
on
you
its
go
own.
again, and you can
But
revolve
here,
with
if you
Queen,
play like Edge
and
Imp
you have, like,
Chain,
infinite red.
and personally in the 60, that's what I go for, but it's 60, so you don't brick on it, right?
Nothing to say.
Two Bestials
about
makes
them. These
sense.
Guys are literally the same, like
Yeah.
the same monster.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
And this,
That's actually, I never looked at it that way, but like sending both of them is like, it's the same monster, Serenir and Albion,
it's really nice
right?
to set the lost. You try everything
Yeah.
to set the lost to have a clear puppet lock.
Yeah.
Puppet
Okay,
lock
so
usually-
he's playing Puppet and Dark Magician. Specifically with the Puppet, I agree. Sorry, no. With the Dark Magician, I agree. I don't want to get flamed again. And with the Puppet, it's interesting because now you're going into some bricky territory. You have a lot of bricks here. And Gimmick Puppet is not such a great opener anymore when you don't have Expulsion no more. Right? Because you could, like, Fusion Deployment plus Gimmick Puppet in the hand is already a lock. Pre-ban list. Now it's a little bit harder because you need to get a way to summon Sanctifier. But it's interesting that he played Puppet. We all know that it still works. It's not a secret that you can still Puppet lock super easy. Like, access to Cartesia plus access to Brand Fusion equals lock. It's not like an amazing lock a lot of the times. You need a bit more. Actually, you don't need even more gas. You need Aluber, I think. Like Aluber plus Cartesia. Or maybe you should, or maybe Aluber plus opening, to be honest. Yeah, Aluber plus opening is usually the best opener if you want to lock, because then you get actual like 2 negates, which is crazy. But you need to not draw Retribution. You need to like have a very specific setup.
What should I do?
But Dragoon is insane.
Get,
Dragoon is
hit only
amazing.
match every
Like,
game, get,
Dragoon is not that good against Castro anymore, unfortunately. I mean, it's not, you can't just put up a Dragoon and win, because they have so much recursion. Like, you pop the Scareclaw Cash in their hand, summon it back with Birth. Just, the deck is unbelievably annoying. So annoying to play against, but
I think,
yeah.
yeah, you should play.
I mean, yeah, this guy made top 8 with
you
Puppet,
get to
so
resolve it
people
after
can
game
say
one?
that Puppet
Not
doesn't need to
every
be
game
played
won, but like
as much as they
90%
want.
of,
Okay.
every game.
It's a free win. If you go to a
If I
tournament
have,
and you
like,
can do this
Branded Fusion and
consistently.
Trust, yes, every time.
Of course, yeah.
And this for Dragoon, It common wants to be good, but I think I will not play it. Take a slot for nothing in extra deck.
I think Dragoon is really, really solid. If you go into a tournament like this, where you're going to face a lot of Labyrinth, a lot of Runic, Dragoon is usually your best win condition against those decks. Now with Dharma Cannon, it's kind of annoying. People started playing Dharma.
3 branded fusion,
Yeah, surprise.
3 opening. Opening is really nice for Queen.
Yes.
You can set it back with Albion, summon Queen during your opponent's turn, and have so many great interactions, but you need to know it really well to know how to proceed.
That's true.
3 deployment, yes, search Cartesia, search Albaz. 3 other branded fusion. No, for real, it's also for these 2 cards.
So he plays some board breakers with Rust, which makes sense because you probably don't want to play a lot of hand traps. There's not enough hand traps you can play, so you might as well play like really good
Mainly
board breakers.
Cash, it's big, you take this one. If it's small, you take this one.
Did he play Duplication? Super Poly is an incredible board breaker. Labyrinth plays it, so
if you have Albaz in hand, you can just Super Poly any cards of the game. Like even an M-Pen to make Wind Broom. So
Yeah, that's true.
lost in red. I think nothing to say much about it. Just try to have every game lost face up because it gives you the grind game. Even if you get Ash, if you have lost, you can still do your fusion with like with Patchwork. You can still have something every turn and do your recursion.
if you play that, it's interesting that he's playing like 5 board breakers. No, 5 plus 3, like 8.
This is for the spells.
It's branded, and he's also playing Duplication.
And 2 traps. Yes, 1 counter. Have the best card. The best card of the game.
What does it do for people that don't know?
You can target 1 polymerization or.
Yeah, so if you don't know what it does, if you get ashed and you have Thrust, you search this card, you set it, then on your opponent's turn, you flip it up, target the Branded Fusion in your graveyard, banish it, and this trap's effect becomes the effect of Branded Fusion or Polymerization. I think it's only for normal spells, correct me if I'm wrong, or Quick Play. Maybe it can become Super Poly as well. But it's okay. I mean, I played it, and unfortunately, in the finals of the locals that I did went and played, I was in the finals. I was undefeated until that point, and then I never resolved Thrust and the Duplication throughout the tournament. But it was in a game versus Super Heavy Samurai post ban list, and he just had Stealthy, and Stealthy just takes one of your spells from the graveyard. Super annoying. So I couldn't even resolve it, and I lost the finals.
I made one Super Poly with it.
Oh, Super Poly.
1 polymerization for Chimera.
So maybe you can do it with Quick Plays as well.
Otherwise, if you have trust, you can just play.
Yes, if you have branded and trust, you have Ash.
It's not the best, but it gives you something to do after Branded Fusion. I think, if I'm being completely honest, Nadir might be better. It depends if you have a normal summon. But it worked.
I think I need
Worked
to
for this guy.
this card first.
Yeah.
This card is the best card of the
Ganginyo.
deck. You always need
It is
this
the best
to
card
select,
in the
like,
deck, that's
also
true.
Like sometimes to draw 1 card to have my Super Poly active, Albion to have the opening or red, Puppet, Ad libitum sometimes, and you need
Ad libitum,
to do the perfect lock of Puppet because you will chain blocking every time with your lost, and no one can trigger. Even with a bestial, even with a bell, you cannot negate the Puppet lock, and you need to.
Yeah.
2 Mirror Jade. I'm kind of disappointed of this card. No.
So what he's saying is that... Okay. So you want 1 for when you set up the lock, and then 1 so that they can't respond to it. It doesn't... The logic isn't there because if a player has a bestial, they will do it on your turn before you set up the lock. Like once they... Like the correct thing, if you're playing against Brandon, if you have a bestial and they go for a puppet, then the correct thing is to banish it right when it hits the graveyard. Unless you know they have Mercurier. But even if they do have Mercurier, you get rid of the negate, and then on their turn you do it again.
No, for sure, it's a
2 Mirror Jade, 1 Sanctifier, yeah, 2 Albion, 2 Lubellion. So he's playing Sprint. I don't understand how people are not playing Sprint. You summon Albaz from the grave so much right now, with Rinbrum or with Quem, everything becomes a target with sprint. If you don't play it, you're gonna run into situations where you can't use Albaz. You can every monster. Sprite red. You wanna take a sprite red, a nimble beaver? You can. With sprint. It's also good for super poly as well. Chimera. With the 60 you probably play 2.
It just gets stronger and stronger.
It's so good. Drago's Despia, and then 2 targets. My dragon is really good because you can target like dark monsters and stuff. So he didn't like the Dragoon, but again, he's taking up 3 extra deck slots for like, you know,
Funny question, did you ever add
3 Magnamut.
Did you do it and then like... Okay.
3 Magnamut, 3 Droll. This is kind of spicy. We used to play this last national season against like Flu, but it works against everything. Basically, like not Cash, but like Mathmac, Flunderies, what else? Sword Soul maybe?
I guess it was for Rica, for Flunderies.
Oh, Rica too. Rica. That's true.
For Dragon League.
Yeah. Dragons, right. Shadow Dragon is kind of spicy. If you don't know, this is like known, but it pops a spell trap when it's into the graveyard. So you can actually out skill drain with Branded Fusion and still resolve your Lubellion if this is all the interruption that they have. So you can like chain 1 Lubellion, chain 2 Dragon, target the skill drain, pop it, resolve Lubellion. It's kind of crazy.
And pop it. And if I trust, 1 Dark Hole for trust, especially for Ibli Sprite and Kashira with an Ibli. So I put
Okay, Econ,
so the choose was,
Twin Twister, just like 1, and Dharma. Dharma is very good if you're playing Thrust. If you're already playing Thrust, Dharma is amazing. I don't really understand the 1 Twin Twister. I mean, it's very good with Patchwork and stuff. But I like the Dharma. Dharma is very good. Like you get shifted, you can set Dharma, pass, you know, screw your opponent over, like especially if it's Cash. Duster and Darkhole make sense. I don't know who's playing Ibli in this format, to be honest. So I don't know like why you're playing against it or like around it. So the Econs, like I would honestly want to play Cosmics. Probably Cosmics and Nibiru too. Droll is like, I'm not sure Droll is really good against anything. Anything. It's not as impactful as Nibiru versus most things. I mean, it's obviously dead against Labyrinth, but you don't put it in. Yeah. What do you guys think about the deck list? Congratulations to Eldon. Super well played. Top 8 Euros with Branded Despia. This guy's representing us. So huge shout out. This is really, really good. I just joined this branded. This is branded. Do you think the Edgeim package is back? In some builds, could be back. Droll is not that good versus Runic. It's not that good. If they play it correctly and they have a good opener, then it's not gonna be that good. Who won the Dragon Duel? A good friend of mine from Israel. Yoav Lubovich. Guy from our locals. He won Dragon Duel with Labyrinth. I don't think he has. It's not necessarily bricks, but playing Puppet, Dark Magician, and Ad Libitum in a low card count deck is. So he kind of balanced it out with having the Edgeim chain package. That really balances it out. Because then it gives you a way to, like, you know, play if you bricked on things like Ad Libitum. But yeah, this was a branded top 8 Euros. Congratulations. Awesome. Let's move on. Woo. So we got Jess. Anybody want to see Jess's deck profile? This is not a Rica channel, but you know, we'll give Jess the respect she deserves. Another branded player. And we have some bestial control. I don't think we have... Oh, I actually have in my DMs on Twitter, I have another list or two. I have another list or two. There we go. Top 32. And then, yeah, we have a top 32 list. This is from, it's not from the EUWCQ. This is Oceania, which is basically Australia and New Zealand, with Joseph M. Another branded Despia profile. He sent me this on Twitter.
Joined today by top 32.
Joseph.
Let's go.
Congratulations, Joseph.
Oh, let's get right into the deck profile.
Straight into it. Okay.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Free Liber. Free Liber. One tragedy. I'm playing Allure, but I considered not playing two tragedy because it's a little bricky to see. Kind of want to see other engine like more cards.
I don't know if he's playing 60 based on what he's holding.
Seeing Allure isn't as important as seeing the Albaz cards, which you'll see later. I'm playing two Mercurio for that. And then aside from that,
He's playing Allure.
Adlib is super important. Like you cannot cut this card. It comes up so much. It's a very grindy format. It's really important to keep recurring fusions because branded.
He's a
fusion recursion. So it's important to keep sticking things on the
dramatic deck profile. He's good though.
This is the power card in the deck. Aside from the Despias, I decided to play three Albaz.
Yeah.
Even outside of like Runic and like Rica and Kashtira, you need three because it's such an important engine piece and it's a really, really good interaction out of the graveyard with things like Quem and Rinbrim, so it really, really helps out three.
We know.
Then I played the one card Tisha. I don't need two. Two
One.
never really came up. I was playing two for a really, really long time, so I have tested it. But one just felt okay if I was managing my resources correctly.
Check out the playmat.
The one Quem, this is the best card in the card back. Every
One
time.
Quem,
If you use this in your combo,
two Mercurier. So he better be playing Allure of Darkness and Gold Sark as well. I want to see both of them.
you need one still in your
In the
deck to
deck.
search off with Lost or send off with Quem, so you can keep using the monster negate. Mercurio is such a good card on top of the branded board because not only it layers your interaction a lot. Under Mirror Jade, you have a banish and a negate with Mercurio, you know? And like if you say like Dragon's the Payload, that's another negate. Really, really strong card. I definitely will play less than two, considering I'm also playing a lot. And the last Albaz card is just the Albion. Searchable toolbox, upstart, send retribution.
So no kits.
And outside of those, just like the one upstart.
Let's see if he's playing Bestials.
This is really important engine piece, but you do not want to be drawing this card. Really sucks on the draw and stuff, like you don't want to be seeing it. And the Saranir, you're kind of playing the Saranir so that this isn't dead in your hand.
Yeah, like you can really lose to Droll if you're not careful with Lubellion. Make sure you don't start with Lubellion. Like, the way you can not lose to Droll in this deck is very, very easy. If you can, your first search must be for Branded Fusion, right? There are ways in which you can get to it from the graveyard, obviously. So if you start with Lubellion and get Saranir and get Drolled, and you have a way to Cartesia, you can still actually get a Branded Fusion. But if you have Opening or Aluber in the hand, which is going to come up a lot, if you already have Branded Fusion, you don't lose to Droll anyway in this deck. Maybe you just, you know, it sucks because you might not get a search off of Lost, but it's not that horrible. So the way you don't lose is make sure your first search is always Branded Fusion. Once you have it in the hand, there is usually one more add to the hand after that, and that is Branded Lost, and it doesn't matter because if you already resolve Branded Fusion, you already won most of the time. So just make sure you guys are aware of that.
And the last card's Dark Vision. Dragoon's insane in this format. Like, it's such a plan B card. Like, if you just don't know what you're doing, you just make Dragoon.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, there's a Dragoon on your field. And Dragoon's a
Dragoon is the best under Shifter.
If you brand it in red and make Adlib, you can make a Dragon's Failure, Adlib back to Dragoon, and then negate back. It's insane. That card is so insane.
Actually kind of crap.
It's pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb. Then onto the branded
No
spells.
Puppet.
So we were on the one loss and one red. I didn't decide to play white or high spirits or any of those kind of combo cards because I was looking to just like play really well and like.
You don't really
manage my
need
resources. And these are the two
white.
cards. This card is a custom card. I swear to God, this card does so much. Go second. This card wins you the game because you just Albaz them. It's so incredible.
Yeah. We know 3/3/3.
Kind of just like the best cards. Like the stuff
Where's
that,
the
like, really started, like,
deployment?
winning me the games outside of the branded engine. So
This is a Galzo shout out. We like Crossout Designator. Still, I think still a solid pick. Like you're gonna lose to Ash, so this was my Nationals list format was different than today's format because it was so long ago. But Crossout is amazing.
3 cross out and like card. 3 fusion deployment.
3 deployment.
I'm only playing 1 tragedy. But
And
this
then
is
3 Allure. 1 Tragedy, 2 Mercurier. It makes sense. It makes sense, I guess. I think it's fine. I don't know how many cards are in the main, but
Concentrated, you have, I believe, it's like 10 or 12 docks in the deck.
Allure is good, but we'll see if he has some board breakers or stuff. Because this is good in this list because you play Crossout. So I don't know if you guys remember, I was considering playing one Prosperity just to dig for the Crossout. But Allure is also a good way to do that. Do you like Duality? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Nairless, thank you so much for the support, dude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Allure with one Tragedy, but two Mercurier. Mercurier can also trigger from Allure. Can search Cartesian, Quem, and Albion, whatever. Wait, what did he say about that?
They combo really nicely because like, you can just draw into it and play around the brand. It's really, really good. Just for the rest of the stuff, kind of simple. The cross out and the callback, just power cards branded, not much to explain.
No Foolish?
And then the cross out targets like the non-engine 2 Ash.
No Foolish. Foolish is better than Goldsark. Like, by a mile. I would in this build, I would probably play 2 Allure, 1 Foolish, 1 Goldsark, 1 Called By. Like, there's no way you're playing Goldsark and not playing Foolish. It's so much better.
3 and perm, and 2 copies. I wouldn't have changed these. These were really, really good the whole event. Obviously,
Okay.
cross outs also really good for like Lab Branded mirrors. This is really good at adding the cash board and also for Rise Heart. And this is also the same, just for like cash inspired stuff. And then the one notification.
Okay, very standard. Very standard.
What's in the extra deck, bro? All 43
I don't think 2 Allure is weird. I think it's fine.
in the main, by the way.
43 in the main.
So 4 is disgusting.
43 in the
Couldn't
main.
go lower. It's so hard with Branded to go lower. But
So you go up to 44, you play the same card count I have, and you put in Foolish.
anyway, so onto the extra. 2 Mirror Jade. Albion, you need
2
to
Mirror
have
Jade,
summon,
1 Lubellion,
for
2
Albion,
Albion, Titanic Lad, and Sprint.
Really good for summoning Quem. Also in Grand Game, send up Mirror Jade.
Titanic Lad is very good. And then Sprint, again, as I mentioned, you absolutely have to play this card. You guys don't even understand. Like, this card, first of all, this card can out Birth. You can pop Birth with this card. It's priceless. And then it just makes every monster super poly target.
They summon, because it works on special summon monsters this turn. So if they go like Shang summon Fenrir, you can Albaz that the Fenrir away, gets rid of an interaction, and you can move and you can pop more stuff. Really, really good card going second. Mirror Jade, summon,
Rend,
you can also give
Sanctifier.
So they can't really play under that. It's pretty good.
I thought Expulsion was banned.
Queritus, don't cut this card. It's so good. It gives you time. It gives you one.
Yeah, Queritus. Eldon didn't play Queritus because he played Super Poly and Dragoon, which takes up 3 slots in your extra, right? But Queritus is amazing.
It's just so good. The 1 grand. I didn't miss the second one. I actually only made this ever like going.
I also think, by the way, considering Eldon's deck list, I think you don't need 2 Granganule. If you're playing 1 Quem, you don't need Granganule. If you're playing 2 Quem, you could use a Granganule. I don't think that you need 2. I played 2, I tested with 2, but I never found that I needed it.
Otherwise, this card's like good.
Also, Eldon didn't play Masquerade, which I agree with.
Like the most important thing. But otherwise, like, and then playing Lulu is the target for Granganule. Like if they nib you, you can chain the Cartesian, and then the nib will get rid of the Granganule, and then you can summon this, and you still have an interaction. That can help you something.
I don't think that's true. What did you say?
Like if they nib you, you can chain the Cartesian, and then the nib will get rid of the Granganule, and then you can summon this, and you still have an interaction. That can help you something too. Even
Okay, that's considering you're not under brand fusion or deployment. So if you have Cartesia on the field with another light or dark monster in the hand or field, and you haven't activated branded fusion or fusion deployment during that turn, or opening, you can do what he says. But overall, you can summon Queritus. Or Quem, basically. That would be better, to summon Quem for deck.
Oh my lord. Yeah, it's insane.
and then like, just like the power cards, the Dragoon, as explained, really good. They did make a 3 AM change, which was putting in Kurikara. This is a bit of a 3 AM.
Yeah, this card is busted. If you can afford it, play it. I actually don't have Kurikaras. Let's see if they have a reprint in the tints, because there's no big tournament, and I managed to win without it. That's a lot of ifs, because it is a lot of ifs. Ifs, buts, and maybes.
It actually came up enough.
Kurikara is great. One more Ash for the crossout. Bell, good.
I actually puppeted someone through double Bell, which was really, really crazy. Yeah, Bell is
Wait, he played puppet? Where's the puppet? Is it in the side or did I miss it in the main?
Really good this one as well, just putting it in as a hand trap. But also, a lot of people are playing Bell. The last cross I target is D-barrier. I was really scared of like lady set D-barrier. It's like, you know, the little toolbox.
Yeah, that is true.
So it really helped to have this. It did come up, cross-outing the D-barrier. I would have rather this be Nib. I think Nib over D-barrier in the side.
Dude, this guy's so lucky. He crossed out the D barrier. Oh my god.
Let's get the cross-out stuff.
He played Labyrinth. He managed to side. And he managed to draw the cross out. And not get ashed. And not draw the D barrier. And that his opponent
onto, like, the disgusting stuff
did the lock.
Jinzo.
There we go. Hello, Jinzo.
Jinzo sadly never came up. The 2 times I versed Lab, it was just like a really controlled game, and I was never going first because I lost both dice rolls. So Jinzo never came up.
I'm kind of sorry. I start. You know, I put people on Jinzo. It worked for me once, but like, you know, it's kind of hard to play.
Like the plan B option, you take out the 2 dark rulers in the main, you put in one of this and 1 bell, right? So you can cross out the bell if they try and bell your sanctifier, and then you put this in over the dark rulers so you can puppet them, right? Came up enough. I puppeted enough people today for it to be good. I was considering not playing it, also with 3 AM change, and it was good. The last dark ruler, this is just for cash, also sprite. I was really scared of those decks, so I definitely want to main it for the last. Then 3 cosmic. Shout out to Poe for super grave, super agent organizing me like 4 times, and I was like, I'm not losing to another flood again. I'm playing cosmic.
Yeah.
Really good card. I would not play.
You kind of got to play cosmic.
In the side deck is 3 evenly. Not much to explain. Like it's evenly matched. Don't put this in against Labyrinth.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very good to Lab. Otherwise, yeah, evenly was really good.
Congratulations.
Don't put this against Labyrinth?
Not much to explain. Like it's evenly matched. Don't put this in against Labyrinth though. I don't think it's very good to Lab. Otherwise.
I mean, it's fine against Lab. Cool. Congratulations. Top to 32, New Zealand and Australia. Joseph M with Branded. What do you guys think about the list? Another pretty tight list. Some theory differences from the last one we saw, but overall kind of slim. Both playing Dragoon, both playing Puppet. Whether it's in the side or in the main. Kind of solid, right? Congrats to Joseph. Good job, buddy. Okie dokie. So we have seen some lists. It is time for you guys to like the stream so we can get to 40, maybe 50 likes. So everybody in the house, like the stream so we can get to it. It helps other people discover the stream. So thank you to Joseph for sharing the deck list with us. It's okay taking content from other channels as long as you give credit. Huh? Master were obligated to play 2 Aluber, 2 opening, 2 Brian Fusion. Yes. What WCQ are you going to play? None. I was invited to the European WCQ, but I was on vacation, and that was pretty good for me. Watching the EUWCQ from the pool, it was awesome. I'm probably going to be in a European YCS soon, and this weekend there's the North American WCQ, which I'm not going to be attending. And yes. Do you double sleeve your deck? Currently only the side. Yo, I haven't showed you my Lubellion. So nice. Another debate post in the Discord. What debate post? What are you talking about? Oh. Well. Cool. Will Branded good for the New Year World Tournament? Probably not. Like a lot of things are limited. Dragoon is banned. Wait, did I say side? No, I double sleeved the extra. That's what I meant. Only the extra currently. Pull 25th? Holy crap. I have 2. I have one 25th. I bought one and I'm looking for another one. So if you're in the EU and you want to sell your Lubellion, DM me on Twitter. That's really, really cool. So my extra deck is double sleeved. And I just use Dragon Shields for the main. It's kind of unreal that this card now has a Starlight. That is so cool. And like my 60 card deck is just like, I cannot even double sleeve it because it won't fit in the deck box. Sadly not in the EU. Well, thanks anyway. That's a steep ticket if you're going from the US. When you play in events, can you use any sleeves or do you have to use specific sleeves? I think that as long as the sleeves fit well on your cards and are all the same and don't include any explicit illustrations or images, which means like nudity or violence probably, then it will be okay. How much is your branded deck worth? It's a good question. You can check out my deck list, then put everything in hierarchy and put that into TCG prices. I like Bestia Lubellion, but it's very expensive. It is. Once I get another Bestia Lubellion, I will very likely do a giveaway for Lubellions. So stick around. I mostly reuse my Vanguard sleeves because they're the same size. Yeah, sure. Of course you can use them. Just be careful that none of the sleeves have any markings on them, so you can't get disqualified for marked sleeves. Just be careful. Do you know Branded is currently the best deck in the OCG? I think that is extremely incorrect. That is not true at all. The best deck currently is somewhere between Pearly, Labyrinth, or Rescue Ace. I'm sorry to tell you. The 60 run 3 Lubellion? Yes, it does. Source, it was revealed to me in a dream. Yep. All right. Let's get on to the tier list so you guys can help as well. We're going to do the... Basically, it's going to be like up tomorrow or Friday before the WCQ, I think. And we want to discuss, like, we just had an event. And what is this? What is this? Okay. We just had an event. Let's rank the decks. This. Let me just reorganize the list because there's some weird stuff. Tier 1. I like tier 1.5. I like tier 1.5. Your videos helped me take the 3rd place. Let's go, baby! Congratulations, dude. Congratulations. If you have to choose another deck for a tournament, what would it be? For an actual tournament today? Or like a locals? Because I think we all know what the best deck is. All right, guys. Let's get to 50 likes on the stream so we can kick off the tier list. In the meantime, I just want to remind you to subscribe if you are new. You can join our Discord. It's completely free. If you do want to support the channel a little bit further, you can join as a member, get early access to all of my deck lists. All of them. Every week you get a deck list just for supporting the channel. So the hidden goo, you get that. Look what I pulled a few days ago. This card is worth like $60. It's insane. Yeah. It is a weird looking synchro. But this was fun to open. I'm a Magic the Gathering player right now. Woo-hoo-hoo. Just reading a post. Yeah, I mean, okay. Pull the thrust. Awesome, dude. I don't play MTG, no. I got a few good friends who play it, so I wanted to like get in on the hype and see if I can, you know, play it. Guys, why are you not liking the stream? We have 37 people, we have 60 people and 37 likes. Come on. Leave a thumbs up so we can get going. He's got the one ring. Awesome. Okay, so see how that looks like. Let's change up the display here a little bit. Cool. Kill. Let's kill. Let's kill. Awesome. So, you said what you know, the kid who won Dragon Duel will make a video with him. Oh! Yes, I actually should make a video with him. That is very absolutely 100%ly correct. Let me just write it down so I don't forget. Dragon Duel Champion video. Yeah, he's the GOAT. Branded profile by Sofiane. That's true. We don't have it? 25th Rarity Collection should have fancy Striker Dragon reprints. That is true. It will. So, Right. So, I wanted to do a tier list today because we're exactly between the EUWCQ that was last weekend, who was won by, of course, Jess with Rica, Sun Avalon, again taking the European Championship. But we're also a few days ahead, or like 1 day ahead, of the North American WCQ. The North Americans are now gonna, you know, they have the reference from the previous event that was just a week ago, same format, super fresh, and now they have like really good reference on what's good. But we're gonna decide that for them in this video because we know better. So chat is gonna help me decide what tiers are these decks after the European WCQ. And I've kind of split it into 4 tiers. I don't think there has to be more. Tier 1 are the safest / strongest picks. These are the best decks, basically. Those are the best decks in the format that if you go to a tournament and you're not trying to meta game, you're just trying to bring in the most powerful deck, those are the decks that you will pick. Tier 1.5, a lot of people don't like this half tier, but I think it could be tier 2 and 3, right? But it's 1.5, 1.5. Those are the very strong decks. You're going to see these decks topping, and if you're a competent enough player who knows the deck well, you're going to come in with one of these decks, and you're going to be able to top or even win. Then we have tier 2 that are solid, okay picks, right? Solid as in, it's okay. These decks can get into the top cut in very small percentages, but are not the best contenders at winning a tournament or even getting to top 8, top 4. And then Rogue, which is basically, if you have good luck, it's also like good luck playing against the best decks, right? But also, if you have good luck in a tournament, you can make it into the top cut with these decks. So Rogue is not unplayable here because we only have 15 or so decks in the list. I didn't include everything. But again, if you're a good player, know your matchups, and also have good luck on the day of the event, you might be able to top. And we're going to start with Branded. I was actually contemplating a lot between tier 2 and 1.5. But I think that specifically for Branded, we're going to also rank them inside each tier. So if a deck is worse or better, then it's going to go like this. It might be, it's currently, in my opinion, I'm going to try to be unbiased with it. You have to be a very good player with Branded in order to succeed today, which is why I'm currently going to put it in solid picks, which is tier 2. I think it honestly could go into tier 1.5, but judging based on the last tournament, not a lot of top cut showings for Branded in this tournament. So I think it's a solid pick for a player who's very good with the deck, in my opinion. But Dragon Link is actually going to be above that. And I think it's a very strong deck. It's one of the strongest decks in the format. A lot of top cut performances in the past 2 tournaments. It is very, very good, super strong, and basically full power currently with Bestials. I think Bestials are going to get hit in the next ban list significantly. And right now, Dragons are taking advantage of that. Crazy huge boards, Dispatter, Assault Synchron, Ringo Worm. A lot of really, really good new support for the deck that just keeps evolving. I think it's incredible. It's a very strong deck. It's going to be tier 1.5 because there's not going to be a lot of room in the top. And we're going to talk about the top here, right? We're just going to put it in here for now. We're not going to keep it here. Rica, I should have used Loci for the picture, but Rica just took the European World Championship qualifier tournament. 2,000 plus players. Jess, super talented player, navigated this deck to success, and there hasn't really been any other Rica players topping, especially not in the high caliber of the top cut, which is like 8 or 4. I think she was the only one. What does that mean? It means that it takes a very good player to pilot this deck. And if you can be a very good player and have some luck with it, you can also win. This deck is not super easily counterable, and it takes a very good player. And even though this deck just got a WCQ win, I'm still going to put it in tier 2 because I don't think it actually changes the power level of the deck compared to other decks. And I also, to be perfectly honest, don't think it's stronger than Branded. But as we're devising the list, we're going to look at that again. Labyrinth, for me, is a tier 1 deck. One of 2 tier 1 decks. You probably can already guess the other one. Labyrinth is an extremely strong deck. If you're a good player, you're going to do extremely well. But if you're an okay player, the deck has a lot of resources and tools and already has different builds within it. And currently, one of the only decks in the format that are unharmed, 100%. No limitations on any of the cards. Skill Drain is a 3, Prosperity is a 3, and those cards are insane. This deck also uses the extra deck sometimes with Chaos Angel. A lot of very powerful floodgates and blowout cards like Eradicator Virus are searchable and really easily accessible. This deck is tier 1. It's very easy. MathMech just got hit, and I think it is a rogue deck. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I think MathMech is rogue at best. It did top with the new limitations, with Circular to 1. It has some interesting lines to it, but in a big tournament, it's probably going to be rogue. You're going to need a lot of luck to play it well and do well with it. Same goes for Striker. It's probably even worse than MathMech at this point. I love the deck to death. My second deck that I own, second deck that I played, and I think that right now Striker is not good enough. But if a pilot comes with it to a tournament, they could do well. This, I had it from a previous tier list. If I had another tier below it, I would put it there. It's probably the worst out of all of these. And it just tells you that the deck is dead, basically. I think Sword Soul might be rogue above Striker. And it's kind of disappointing to see, to be honest. It might even be above MathMech, but I'm just going to keep it here. It's kind of disappointing to see. Deck pretty much has its entire engine plus Denglong unharmed and at full power and still not doing really well. And then we have Pearly, which is probably a tier 2, lower tier 2 deck at this point. It has a very specific win condition, and maybe if people stop respecting it and playing kaijus, then who knows. Also, I only included decks in this list that actually topped events in the last 2 or 3 nationals in WCQs. So these are relevant decks that actually top, not just every deck made it into this list. I think Pearly is not as good as Branded or Rica. Yeah, I'm just going to move Branded down a little bit below Rica because, you know, I think people are going to be mad. And I think it's fair to say that Rica might be a little bit more powerful. But it's sort of like a tie, I think. So Pearly, weakened, harmed. Until Duelist Nexus, we're not going to see this deck do well. Unless, you know, it's the 1 or 2 players that make it into top cut. That's why it's solid picks. Pure Sprite is like unplayable. Just Pure Sprite. We're going to talk about other things as well. And then Runic, like pure Runic. It's not really a deck, but if you wanted to play it, it's a very rogue deck that relies on stun. You can play it, but people don't usually do that. And then one other rogue deck is probably Trap Tricks, which should be like here. It did top nationals recently. It's still a playable deck. It has its weaknesses and things that it's good at, but it just got a little bit power creeped by the last format and ban list, I think. So I think Trap Tricks is going to be like around here. And I think Kashira is still, I think it's the number 1 deck. Number 1 in representation, but also number 1 in top cut percentages, even a little bit more than representation. The deck lost an Arise Heart and 1 Unicorn, and it still has some of the most broken unfair cards. Prosperity should be limited in order to hurt this deck significantly. Cost Your Birth is an insane card. Fenrir just got banned in the OCG. I don't think there's a lot to say about that. It's pretty obvious that this deck is incredibly strong. Naturia, with 1 Sacred Tree, deck is dead. Pretty much dead. And then we have Runic for Hire, which I think is going to be a very strong contender. Runic for Hire is extremely consistent, but it takes a very good player to run. So we're going to put the 2 Runic Sprite variants here. The Live Twin version and the For Hire version. I think these are going to be in this order. I think the Runic Live Twin version is more of a Sprite deck, while For Hire is more of a For Hire deck. It's just like drawing cards, getting a negate, a pop, and then the Live Twin version feels more like Sprite. I think these 2 are both very, very strong contenders. We are also seeing that in top cut representation. These decks are doing extremely well. I think right now, Runic Fountain 2 did nothing. Tip should probably be a 1, maybe Fountain as well, maybe Hugin, who knows. But I think Fountain should go to 1 eventually, like it did in the OCG. But until then, these are very strong contenders in a tournament. Still very viable. With Bestial Control, I think I'm going to put it like here. Solid deck, very good. Like I put it, it's a little bit different than Dragon Link because the playstyle is different, the cards are different, the other engines are different, some Synchron engines, maybe it's like around here. Very fun deck, very like based around Bestials, which is always really, really fun. And I think it's a tier 2 solid pick because it's making its runs. Vanquish Soul. I think even though it's topping, I'm just going to put it in Rogue. I think it's probably one of the best Rogue decks at the moment. But it's kind of like fell off really, really quickly once people understood like, yeah, okay, you can interrupt this deck pretty good. I think this might be a hot take, but the deck is not currently really doing great. It barely made top cut. Which is crazy. I think Fluenderies might be like here. I don't want to put it above Branded, but it might actually in reality be above Branded. Floowandereeze topped more than Branded in the EUWCQ, which is crazy. It's crazy. How is this deck still alive? It is so incredibly busted still. How? Like, how did this deck not die? I think we need to limit map in the future. And, yeah, I don't know. Earth Machine. Why did I put it here? Because it topped the EUWCQ. But don't be fooled. It's still a pretty bad deck, in my opinion. This is exactly why it says good luck here. Because if you have good luck, not to dish on the player at all, congrats to him. Really, really solid job. But you probably have to be very lucky to get through that. But it did top like last weekend, so we're going to put it there. And then Dark World is probably going to be here. Or maybe even the best rogue deck. What do you guys think? I think this deck might be the best rogue deck. We saw it in the World's Points qualifier. People decided to play it. It was extremely explosive. It's one of the best decks that if you have no interruptions against them, you die. You just die immediately. I think it's the best rogue deck at the moment. It's a sleeper. If you can get lucky in a tournament, you will win a lot. So people actually went with this to the points qualifier for Worlds, which was a very small tournament of only the best players. And this was a viable pick. Vanadium should probably be here-ish, right? It's okay. Marincess could also be here, I think. Maybe even here. This deck is super annoying to play against. It's making the rounds. And again, the reason why it's here is because it's topped in the last 3 big events. So it's worth considering and talking about it. That is a pretty solid rogue strategy at the moment. And then Planet Patrol, I would say like it's probably down here, even below, like right here. And Tier Laments, I would want to put it like here. Maybe even above Trap. No, there's no way. But I kind of want to see this deck making its rounds again. I don't know. What do you guys think about this list? I think I'm feeling good about it. Like super, like look at the 2 best decks, 3 very good, then like 5 solid picks. And it's a very diverse meta still, so I don't think we missed anything. I'm feeling good about this list. Rica is like my only like beef with this list because it's not a really good deck in a consistent long format, but it sneaks in wins. I don't really know if it's like the best tier 2 deck, but I think it's probably, in my opinion, tied with Branded. It needs, in this format, it needs to steal a win. It needs to steal a win. It doesn't earn a win. It probably needs to steal a win. Which is interesting. So, yeah, this is the list. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about that. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Cut. I like this list. This looks good. Do you like these ones I added? I had to add these. Graphic design on this channel. I think this list is solid. I think it makes sense. I think it definitely makes sense. Yeah. All right. 2 more likes to 50. Let's get it. What's the best budget deck in your opinion? Floowandereeze is very cheap. Labyrinth is probably relatively budget, isn't it? It's not that expensive. What's up with the fingers to the head, then camera? That's always what I do. Like, peace out. It's like a salute. I think Floowandereeze is the cheapest deck in terms of money. Maybe Prosperities are kind of expensive though, right? So, Labyrinth is pretty cheap. Dark World could be cheap. Like all the dangers just got reprints, right? Is Dragon Link worth playing if you only have one Lubellion? No. Is the trunk side, yeah. Boop, boop. Yeah, Flu is definitely cheap. All right. All right. Yeah, we got 50 likes. Thank you. So, why am I not getting alerts? Do we have new subscribers? So sorry for not having music on because I'm recording a lot of videos throughout the... So I don't want them to be like background music. Oh, we didn't have a lot of subscribers. Marinsis cost like 15. What? There's no way that's true. $15 for the whole deck? No. I mean, it's basically full of hand traps, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying about Dark World. Yo! Takamiki, how's it going, dude? It's going well. We just finished the tier list video, which is good. So guys, if you are new, consider subscribing to the channel. That would be amazing. We'll get to 12,000. We're going to have a pretty sick giveaway. It's probably going to be 3 Lubellions. Just spit on the mic. It's probably going to be 3 Bestia Lubellions. Yes. Yes. Wait, what? Oh my god. These guys are just out of control. These guys are out of control. The social media manager on this is out of his mind. When your opponent begins to special summon monster after monster, the card draw Max C provides keeps you in the game. Each draw brings you closer to cards that can interrupt your opponent, preventing them from gaining the upper hand. So tell me, when do you play Max C? Yes, international giveaway. Wow, this was this was really good, guys. This was really, really good. This card sucks. This card is for losers. I hate this card so much. Okay. Let's see the comments. Yeah. Yeah. Low poly Max C. Yeah, I mean, they know what they're doing to get traction. That is for sure. Yeah. So let's head over to DB because we got some few more things to talk about. Okay. Have y'all considered them doing efforts on bringing in new players to have showcase cards? Why not the most broken ones? Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to show these cards. It's just ironic that everybody hates them. Like Called by the Grave and Max C, probably two of the most of the 5 most insanely unhealthy broken cards. why not show Sprite Elf or I don't know, Branded Fusion? Obviously 2 broken cards as well, but I really want to know when Duelist Nexus is coming. It is coming on July 29th or 28th this month. You guys see my Chimera Fusion combo? My Chimera Fusion list? What is the one card you think what if will get branded? Brand will be rogue. Oh, okay. What card do you think that if it will get banned, branded will be rogue? Well, branded is not that far from rogue at the moment, for being completely honest. But I think if maybe if Mirror Jade gets banned, it makes it significantly worse. Obviously, Aluber, Branded Opening, and Branded Fusion all have really, really big consequences if they're banned. Like basically, if Aluber is banned, which is not going to happen, Branded Opening is a dead card that has no use. It's just a -1 most of the time. If Branded Fusion gets banned, the deck as a deck, it dies. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. Because it revolves around like such a huge archetype of cards that they're never going to ban it. And it's honestly not deserving. Like they shouldn't ban it because the deck is not strong enough. Why would they ban a tier 2 deck? Branded Fusion to 1 is fine. I think that it will also probably happen. There is a good possibility that it will happen. So I need to revisit my side here. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. Probably gonna do like this. And then maybe banishment in this side could be nice. And then maybe two cosmic is kind of horrible. Maybe we should do like thrust. 3 thrust. And then Dark Ruler and Harpies. Those are the 2 equivalent cards, right? Maybe that would work here. Then 2 Chimera is the newest edition. So good. And Master Rule Branded Fusion is limited to 2. Makes the deck a good platinum deck. Yeah, that makes sense. 1 sec. Oh, right. We didn't talk about Duality. We did not talk about Duality. Duality. So what does Duality actually do? Here is a list. What does Duality actually do in Branded? Right? This is just a list that, I built. It has a few interesting things, and I think it's one of the best ways to use Duality. I think overall as a card, in Branded, I don't think that it's amazing. I think it is absolutely 1000% win more, and it doesn't really help your win condition a lot. I think with this list, we can take down 1 Quem, 1 Cartesia. We could also take down 1 Magnum. We don't need it. We can keep it pretty minimal here. I don't see why we would need Gold Sark. And then Called by the Grave is good. I think this could be like a nice list. It has the ability to break boards a little bit. We don't need High Spirits here. So we can keep it like a very, very minimal, right? So we can have like more consistency. But this is basically it, right? So what does Duality actually do for the deck? What does it actually do? If you guys don't know what Duality does, it tributes, it's a quick play spell, it tributes one light or dark monster, okay? As cost. So you cannot prevent that, and it can also help you dodge things like infinite impermanence or any targeting effect or any effect that takes the stats of the monster into consideration. You can dodge it with Duality, okay? And this card has been hyped a lot for Branded because it's probably the best, like the deck that can best utilize this card. Probably the best. So what actually is the thing that we do here with that? So you tribute the monster, then you summon a monster of the other attribute. If you tributed a light, you summon a dark. Tributed a dark, you summon a light. From your hand or extra deck with the same type and level, but a different original attribute. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. And then during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, chuck one light or dark monster in your graveyard, shuffle it back into the deck, draw one card. That's a very good effect as well. So if we're looking at Duality in the context of Branded, what does it actually allow us to achieve? And it might look really, really good. Yeah? Let's open Duality in a hand and see what it can actually do for us. Maybe we will get lucky and draw it soon, so we don't have to, you know, do a lot of these. This is very good, okay? We got a very, very good example of what we can do with Duality. So in this case, for example, start off with Foolish, go for Tragedy here, and then I'm going to activate Tragedy and grab myself a copy of Aluber the Goober of Boober. Then, you guys know, we always start off with Deployment. But here, we actually start off with Lost. Why do we start off with Lost? Because if we get interrupted here and we need to use the Cartesia, we want to be protected by Lost. So in this case, if I already drew it and have a way to get to Cartesia, then I'm probably going to fire it off first. So Aluber, yeah. This is the first point of interaction where Duality might come up in certain decks, because Aluber, being a level 4 fairy monster, corresponds to Herald of the Arclight, which is a level 4 light fairy monster. But it does prevent you from activating Branded Fusion or Fusion Deployment, because it locks you. But it is an instance where it can happen. We're going to use Duality here pretty soon, but we're also going to search Branded Fusion first. So we're going to activate Branded Fusion, and we're going to start sending. We're going to be starting to send. And the first thing that we're going to send is Lubellion and Albaz in this line specifically to summon Albion. Then we're going to go chain 1, chain 2. And we can go ahead and search with Lost. Just for the exercise here, no, you know what? That's fine. I'm going to search for Mercurier here. And then what we're going to do is banish the Albaz and the Aluber, summon this. And here we're going to discard the Maximus here. We're going to show an example on the Maximus soon, but we'll have the Granganil to show for it. So here, since we already, usually what I do is not waste my Cartesia here, because I usually don't have the Lost, so I want to get the Lubellion back from the grave, put the Lost on the field, then activate the Cartesia, because usually you don't have the Lost here. And since we do have the Lost here, we can save ourselves a body, right? And we can get the Granganil. Now, another thing that we will talk about, soon we'll talk about what is another thing that we could have done. And we get this, shuffle this back, and now we have Mirror Jade. This triggers now, and it can go ahead and send us an ad libitum, for example, right? But You can also chain to its effect, Duality, tribute it, summon Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Okay? Or in this case, it might have been better to send off Titanic Lad here or Lulu with this. It doesn't really matter. This is basically what it does. And you know, we'll go ahead and do this, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Okay? Basically it. Same thing we could have done for Maximus here, right? Could have tributed it with Duality. It is the same stats as Granguignol in terms of level, attribute, and type. It is a light spellcaster, level 8. This is a dark spellcaster, level 8. If you play Maximus, you can send 2 really good cards from your extra deck that give a lot of value, for example. Then sack it for Duality and get a Dragoon on board. Another thing that you could do, especially with the hand that we already had, we're going to go back and get that hand. We had that. We're going to go ahead and get the exact hand that we already had. So we had Foolish, we had Lost, we had Duality, and we had Maximus, the same hand, right? So what we could have done here instead is use the Duality a little bit better even, right? Get this, search for our Luber, Lost, deployment, and then we can do deployment for Cartesia, Luber effect, search Branded Fusion, and now we can do this, right? Do this, go ahead and summon Granguignol. Once I'm not lagging, chain 1, chain 2, search for whatever, and send, for example, a monster I have 2 of and I can get access to later. And then I can also, within the summon window, chain my Duality to get a Dragoon on board. Now what happens here, I still get the value off of Granguignol. I get a Cartesia add, I get a send that I can use for Maximus, I got a negate, I got Branded Fusion, but I also got an Omni negate. So when I activate my Branded Fusion, it will resolve. Other cool target is Warlord Furious Dragon, which is a dark dragon that you can use Lubellion for. You can sack the Lubellion or the Albion Sanctifier Dragon because it corresponds as well and it's a different attribute. And now I can resolve Branded Fusion the way I want to, blah, blah, blah. I can send stuff and play under it. Then like eventually I can also go for the Mirror Jade here. And if I'm also playing Maximus, I think like if you are playing Maximus and Nadir and Duality, you should play all of them together because they are a very good package as a package, right? Yeah, Duality has to be chain link 3. Like essentially you can do that so they cannot negate the Duality in some way, even though it's probably really hard to negate because it summons from hand or extra deck. And then you can really maximize this because you already put an Albion in grave. You can banish it, send, let's say we were smart back in the day, and we can send these 2, right? And then we can get this from deck, get this from deck. We can do a lot of shenanigans with this. Why Nadir? Because Nadir gets you to Maximus, and Maximus plus Duality gets you to Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. So you should consider it. A few things that you should consider additionally if you're going to play this. You need to cater your extra deck a little bit better for Maximus. So I would maybe consider playing Bicephalus, the Tri-Brigade Link 5, that can actually send another monster. That way you're not at a deficit, because you need to banish one of those monsters for Maximus. So you could, in this scenario, if you already use Duality, you could banish the Granguignol, but you do want it in the graveyard, unless, you know, you're going to be sending Lulu anyway, and then you're going to be sending Quem. You're not going to be able, maybe there is a case to actually just banish this instead, wasting your Albion if you're going in a different line. But overall, these are the kind of things that it can do. Andrew Torres and the friends over in South America, in their World Championship qualifier, they played this package. I started playing Maximus with Gimmick Puppet because it's Nadir is actually a 1-card Gimmick Puppet lock if you play a certain build in the extra deck with Maximus. But these are the type of things that Duality can do. It puts up, if we narrow everything down to one single sentence, it puts up an additional Red Eyes Dark Dragoon on your field. Ask me what Duality does for Branded. It puts one Red Eyes Dark Dragoon on your field in addition to your combo at the cost of having your Granule on field, which you don't need. Granted. So, is it completely free to play it? Maybe it is, because you're going to get to it a lot of times. But what if the Duality in your hand could have been a different card that allowed you to play? Because it's not a starter. It's an extender in some hands. There are some lines in Branded, especially if you're playing the 40-card build, where you won't get to Cartesia throughout your combo, which means you don't get to Granule, which means you need to open a Deer, hard open Maximus here, and get to it that way. Shadow's Light might be a little bit better. Again, it's not a starter. So when you're building a deck and theorizing what will be good for a tournament or for your deck, you need to count the number of starters and the probability of drawing them. So if you're asking me about my opinion on Duality, it could be very fun to test. This is a very fun locals build to take to locals, have fun, do some crazy stuff. For people who don't know this card, suddenly like, it just summons Dragoon from the extra deck. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That does happen. But I think it could be like a, yeah, okay. So we got Brandon in the chat saying Duality is a high risk, high reward meta call. I agree. It could be a high risk, high reward. Andrew Torres got top 32 with this, a very similar build to this. And I think it could definitely make sense. So this is what Duality does for your deck. I think that it's not the best Branded build currently, but I really like the inclusion of it. So it is important for me to know what you guys think about this as well. But overall, Duality and Branded, super interesting. Also really liking that people have adopted Maximus and Nadir, taken it to other levels now with Duality. It's super cool. And hopefully we'll see some more of that in the future. Yeah. That's been Duality, guys. Problem is it's not searchable. But if you draw it, I mean, not searchable is not the best like case to make to not play a card, I think. You can also make Dragoon with Fleur-de-Lis. That is correct. Fleur-de-Lis and Maximus. Also, light level 8 spellcasters. Yeah. Why do you still play Dark Magician with Duality? Because you can still make, like, if you want access to Dragoon and you're already playing it in your axe deck, you should be able to get to it with Brand Fusion as well. It doesn't hurt, I think. Let's see here. I want to look through some builds here. So I have this. This is also with Duality. What is this? Huh. Old build. Then we have my 60. My baby. It's so good. Wrong with Dark Magician. That is incorrect, and you're going to get banned. No, actually, I'm going to make you into a mod. So you can put users in timeout. There's a cool line with Duality and Maximus. You summon Maximus, activate his affected dump, and see if they have a response. If not, you chain Duality to turn him into Dragoon before Maximus locks you. also, yeah. So that means the effect has to resolve, which is cool. That is a cool line. So it doesn't actually lock you until it resolves and you can use it. That's pretty cool. Yep. Being able to not search duality is rough. I disagree with the searchability aspect of it because fusion deployment is not searchable as well. And Nadir Servant is not searchable as well. And Allure of Darkness is not searchable as well. And let's say that fusion deployment and Nadir Servant serve the same purpose as extenders and recovery and protection. Allure is a consistency card. Forget Allure. Deployment and Nadir are not direct archetype cards that you can search, but they're still good if you draw them. It doesn't mean like Fight for Patchwork is good, right? That means Gimmick Puppet is no longer toxic. Maximus is toxic. Well, I don't think we should go that far. Maximus is toxic still. White Poly, not Super Poly. Super Poly is kind of heavy on your extra deck. And I think it's a lot of people played it recently in the recent events, but I don't think it's good against a lot of decks. If you open it against Castro, it's so horrible. Horrible. It's a hard -1 a lot of the times. It's really bad against a lot of decks. And Poly here is a part of a package. It helps you make Chimera, which I play 2 of in my 60. It helps you make Chimera untargetable, which is very hard for a lot of decks to beat. Right? Yeah. Would be nice if you have Albaz Spell Trap can search. Make a lot of support relevant for the deck. Well, look at this deck. It's like all the support. This is like 70% of the support Albaz has, and everything is at 3 copies, and everything is insane, and there's also so many other cards that are not here. Like the amount of support Albaz has, it's like 60. Look at this. It's 60 good cards. 60 incredible cards, and there's like maybe 1 card that you don't want to hard open. Like you don't want to open Regained. Everything else is incredible. Incredible. Main deck Albion can have interesting uses with Duality. Not really, no. Because 1, you rarely get to summon it. And 2, there are 0 good light level 8 dragon monsters. And Lubellion is not one of them because it needs to be fusion summoned. I've already done like all the search, all the cross paths between like stuff. There's nothing. There is nothing besides Warlord Furious and Dragoon. Nothing. I guarantee you there is nothing. Do I have a page on that? Maybe. Master Duel video. Probably don't have it here. But like, if you look for monster, you can do it pretty easily. Dragon. And this is from hand or extra deck, right? Hand or extra deck. So not deck. This is not Shadow's Light. These are all irrelevant. Oh, effect. No, then just, yeah. So we have Sanctifier. Sanctifier is actually good. Forgot about that. It's a level 8 dragon. Doesn't have to be fusion summon. It's pretty good. Blue Eyes Tyrant can protect stuff from traps, and this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls. Pretty big. And then you have Judgment, the Dragon of Heaven. That only has its effect when it's synchro summoned, I think. Once per turn if you have 4 more tuners. It's basically synchro support. Once per turn during the end phase, banished 4 cards from the top of your deck. This is rough. Light End. Like Edison card, probably. Mirror Force Dragon cannot be summoned with Duality, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Then we have Stardust Spark Dragon. Once per turn, quick effect. Target one face-up card you control. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. Oh. Wow. Sun Dragon Inti. Well, no way. This is a synchro with Fire and Ascator. If it's destroyed by a battle, destroy the monster that destroyed it, then inflict damage to it. Blah, blah, blah. Once per turn in the standby phase, after this card was destroyed, target one Moondragon Quilla. Summon it. Okay? And then we have Super Alloy Beast Raptinus, which says that, yo, imagine Geminis are good. This card is 2 Gemini monsters. Insane super poly target. All Gemini monsters on the field are treated as effect monsters and gain their effects. And then you have Tyrant Burst. So this is Blue Eyes Tyrant. Then you have Tyrant Burst. So these are all targets. So the best one is Sanctifier. Another verse? If you have it in your hand, you can summon it. So basically, Sanctifier is good. What about putting Dramaturge for 1 tragedy? It could work, but you really want to see Tragedy. Tragedy is a very good card in this deck because it provides you much more value than Dramaturge. And you honestly don't need Dramaturge. The boards and the hands that this deck can do, by God, it is incredible. Like 60 cards, you get such like consistent hands. Even this is very, very good. Do I have a way to get to Brand Fusion here? Do I? Yeah, I actually have a way. This gets me to Brand Fusion. Special. Summon. Send ret. Fuse. Or Rangoil. This, I should have thought about it a little bit. Should have been Titanic Lad here. That would have been best. Forgot I had 2. And this sends tzero near, which sends Branded Fusion, and then I can get it to my hand. And then we Brand Fusion. Well, it's not so great, I think. What do you think about Hope Harbinger in the current format? If your deck can bring it out consistently, it's solid. Dramaturge was best in tier format. Probably won't see him again for a while. I love that card so frickin' much. Like, look at this hand. It is incredible. You're going to have so many cards in hand. Absolutely sickening. Absolutely sickening. Obviously, as I've said before, you never start with this. You always start with opening here. Because if you get drolled, after searching Branded Fusion, it doesn't actually matter. And we just win. This is why you play so many tragedies, because in conjunction, like, already like plus 2. And this is like full mega ultra combo. Like, there's no way around it. This is like the 60. It's just crazy sometimes. Always get the argument from buddies that Sanctifier does nothing without Puppet. That is so not true. However, sometimes it's not as strong. Like, the best use for it is things like Puppet, but it's a very good card in the grind game. I remember against Super Heavy Samurai, it was so incredible. Like, in the grind game, Albion is nuts because you use your opponent's boss monsters that you took away. Target protection, also true revival for like things. Yeah, play around. Play against Castor and stuff like that. Yes. Okay, we don't have time for the other thing that I planned. Let's run a game before we wrap it up in ranked. Let's run one game, see what's up. Maybe it will be fun and we don't play against Labyrinth. Yo. We win. We win the game. Da, 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 da. Hey. So here I did, like, I could have started with this obviously, but I want to play around imperm, so you know, move to the main phase. Like, you don't lose to Veiler anymore, which is good. All right, we don't get ashed, that will be good. If we do get ashed, shouldn't be that horrible. We're gonna have like a lot, so it's kind of Gucci. Now I can do this. Like, now I can already do this because I'm not losing to Droll here. I can do this, refresh my hand, see if I get like a called by or something. Ooh, that's actually good. Actually pretty good. Let's play a bit, you know. We can start stalling. We can start stalling here. So we're gonna have everything that we need, which is good. Now let's get Quem on the board here. Get Quemmy. I don't think this guy has anything, but let's just wait for the Ash. There we go. All right, so now what we're gonna do is let's think. Do this. For an opening. This. Let's get out of this hole, shall we? Here we're gonna send Albion, and then we're gonna go this for the Eluber. Now we're gonna do this. Activate. Branded lost. And then we're gonna activate polymerization. These two. Mirror Jade. Lost effect. And that's what we call making lemonade. We're gonna get an untargetable Chimera too. We still have Granganiol in the graveyard to activate. We have Branded in red to pop 2 or 1. And do this to have another card in hand. All right. Yeah, Lubellions are expensive. All right, dude, play. So this guy went on a lunch break instead of watching the game. Come on, dude. Come on, bro. What is this? Can we win? Can we win? I mean, this is after getting ashed. This is after getting ashed. It's almost the same board. Oh, it's cash. Okay. It's probably cash. We win if it's cash anyways. Pay the cost, dude. Think away. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you say, guys? Cash or Labyrinth? Votes in the chat. It's probably cash, right? Oh. Oh. Yeah. Prosperity should definitely be banned. Duster is cool. I'll take Duster. So what do we want to bring out with Duster? What do we want to bring out? We can get Albaz to summon Sanctifier. Doesn't do anything. Albaz to get Albaz to Albion, but maybe they have Thrust. Can't get Dragos to Dupelia, unfortunately. Just gonna go for Quertus. Yeah. That way I can still fuse. I want to keep the Albas in the grave. Banish. Banish. And summon Quertus. And I don't mind losing to Thrust here. Oh. Right. Just a Luber. Big think. Now the problem is we don't play. Yeah. Why didn't you activate the red when he was done searching? That's a good point. It's valid. No need for the 4 question marks, but yeah. Yeah, the field spell is annoying here. Yeah, you're getting timeout. And if anybody speaks like that again in chat, you're also going to be put on timeout. All right. Let's see the pearliness. Yeah. Sure. The face up exceeds Pearly Monster. Can't do anything here. So he can make it in hand. Reveal a quick play. Yeah, so we just fuse with Albaz. It's no biggie. This is why you play Sprint. I can fuse away with this. Yeah. The main problem is, we will have a hard time. I mean, good thing that we won the dice roll, to be honest. It's a good thing that we won the dice roll. Nibiru should be good against this deck. Dragoon is fine. The deer. Should be good. Like, you need your whole goddamn side. Okay, so we can. Ooh. Whoa, the nib here might actually go insane. Hopefully it will prevent them from getting to the towers. But Duster is also very good. Then we can finally have a how to beat Pearly video. I mean, it's obviously a weakened deck. And it's really hard. Like, we don't have kaijus, so it's very hard. Let's see how we can do it. Like, if we lose this game, let's see how we can do it in game 3. Because, oh, he made me go first. I just noticed. Yeah, that's fine. Let's get rid of the Duster. Get rid of the Duster. Get rid of the Duster here. He made me go first. He is going to regret it. See? We don't care about that. Honestly, like, I wish I had talents or something. Let's see what we can do if he doesn't have Ash. Yeah, okay. We can do this. How can we get good interruptions here? We get Artesia. Artesia grabs Granguignol. Yeah. And that's the best we can do. It is the best we can do. We can just go for a Chimera. Literally, like, yeah. Maybe we actually send this. That'll be better. It will be better to get Quem here than just a pop. Yeah. Enjoy your board breakers. Joel and Ash, and he made me go first when I was obviously siding for second. But I think our hand is good still. Like, Nibiru is going to probably be clutch here. God, this card. Oh my God. Yeah, let's see if I can have the perfect out. Look, freaking 6 cards into my deck. That's like Ash, Druiz, Ooh, Druids is good. But he got Delicious. There's no way he doesn't pick up Delicious here because this is a funny hand, but he has to take Delicious. If he takes Druids, that's good. But this is a kind of a... He does take Druids, okay. It does definitely help him. Definitely helps him. Let's see what we can do. Sleepy. Great. So he's got Druids and Druids and another card. It's not so good. Druids is and another card is like, okay. See what we can do here. Happy, happy, happy. We want happy. Because he wants happiness to like kill us. Maybe. I don't really, like, to be perfectly honest. Haven't figured out how this deck works completely. Yeah. Discard and summon from the deck. Yes, sir. Actually, the Nibiru is going to be kind of crappy. Yeah. Help the attack. Okay. So it's 0 attack, it could just become incredibly big. Basically. Did he miss taking damage? Oh, okay. So he just wants to make a really huge... Yeah, that makes sense. We have 5 materials, 3 happies, sleepy. This deck is incredibly confusing to play against. Incredibly confusing. You haven't figured it out by now? You can just attach 3 times, right? If it battled, you add 1. If it has happy, half the attack of a monster on the field. 3 times when you activate. Yeah. Check this out. This guy's going down. pew, pew. I think that's actually 4. Might have been 4 summons. Now I can Nibiru. See what happens after that. Because nothing is once per turn. It's kind of bad to nib there, but he already has all the materials, so I don't think he's going to get to that amount of materials. And he whiffed! Let's go! Now, I think that's GG's, right? Super Angel Organism, really good. So now he can do this with Delicious, then he can attach 2 more. And that would be enough to make it. Yeah, okay. He screwed up. That's fine. He discarded the wrong one. GG's. Yeah, anyway, that's going to be it for today. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Stick around for more videos on the channel. Subscribe if you are new. If you want to support the channel, help me make more videos, pick up more cards, show you some more awesome text and edit and stuff. Consider joining as a member here on YouTube. You get early access to all of my deck lists through an exclusive Discord server for members only. Sorry. Happiness can go into new R because rank 7. Well, we have one every week, and there's videos 200. Don't worry. I'm sorry you hated when it ends. I'm sorry, but every Wednesday, so subscribe. And also, don't forget, Sleeve Chief is dropping some awesome new merch really, really soon. So stick around. Follow me on Twitter. If you want to follow like any news and stuff, any updates from me personally, then Twitter is the best place to do that. Link is in the description below. ! Socials. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Love you all so much. I will see you in the next one, in the next video. Of course, every Wednesday here on the live stream. Love you all, guys. Take care. Brush your hair. See you later.